y'all, I'm Tracy with Just Dig It Farms. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Sunday afternoon in the garden together. Today we are going to be talking about Camellia Sinensis, the tea plant. And I have a little bit of surprise for you guys. Instead of hanging out in my garden today, we're going to go visit my friend Rasika, and she's going to give us a little bit of a tour of her nursery. And her husband Silvano is going to show us how to make tea from the tea plant. Not only are we going to be talking about Camellia Sinensis today, but Rasika will be sharing with us a lot of her other plants and herbs that she grows that I'm not familiar with. So this is going to be a fun day. So before I get ready to go, I wanted to tell y'all a little bit about Camellia Sinensis. So it's the camellia that is used to make all of our tea, to make white tea, oolong tea, black tea, orange pekoe tea. It's used to make all tea. The leaves of the Camellia Sinensis tea plant is what's used to make all different kinds of teas. It's just about in the harvesting and the processing how you get the different teas. The story about camellia goes like this. There was an emperor over 2,000 years ago who was in his garden boiling water. Now, I don't really get that the emperor was in his garden boiling water, but anyway, that's how the story goes. So he's in his garden boiling water when an overhanging branch of a Camellia Sinensis tree was leaning over his boiling water and the leaves fell into his water. Well, the combination of the boiling steaming water and the leaf tasted so good and smelled so good that it made him seek out to research about this plant. And in his discovery, he found that not only was it delicious, but it had a lot of medicinal properties. So that is the legend of how Camellia Sinensis became known as a tea plant. But really, it is where all of our tea comes from, the leaves of the Camellia Sinensis tea plant. Now, the two most popular varieties of tea plant is the Camellia Sinensis, which is native to China. And it can tolerate and grow in more colder climates as well too. Now, the second variety is the Camellia Sinensis Asamakai, and it is more native to India, and it can tolerate more hot, temperate climate. But both of them can grow well in zones 8 and do really well. So I'm growing them here in Alabama. Okay, this is my Camellia Sinensis that I got from PETALS. We sell these at PETALS from the past too. Now, I'm really not sure. I think that this is more of the one from China. I'm really not absolutely positively sure exactly which one this is. All I know is Camellia Sinensis, but it has done really, really well for me. Now, this also does bloom, and initially that's why I bought this plant. That's why I wanted this camellia plant, was for the bloom, because my honeybees love the flowers. It makes little tiny white flowers. And then it develops these little seeds. This little fruit right here is where the seeds are. Now, Rasika has told me before that she takes the seed and that's what she plants to get her camellia trees. So I'm going to try it. I would love to have just a lot of these camellias growing. I have this camellia behind my garden shed here in my little hugelkultur bed that I'm building for my shade-loving medicinal herbs. So over here in my little nursery area that I've got going here of plants, most of what I got from her. I got most of these from Rasika. But this one is my Camellia Sinensis that I got from her earlier this year. So this plant is definitely Camellia Sinensis Asamakai that she brought from her country. A lot of her plants she brought over here, or her sister sends them to her from seed or little transplants, and they have a license. They have an agricultural license to be able to do that. But a lot of her plants come from her country. So I know for sure that this plant is the Camellia Sinensis Asamakai. Okay guys, I just wanted to share with y'all a little bit about what I know about Camellia Sinensis. And I am going to go inside and get ready, and we're going to head over to Rasika's nursery. So I will see y'all when we get there. I am at Rasika's nursery. This is Rasika and this is Silvano. and they are going to give us a little tour of her nursery today, and Silvano is going to share with us how he makes tea from the Camellia Sinensis plant.
Okay, I am come from Sri Lanka. I right now for Alabama 17 years, and I originally from Sri Lankan and Sinhalese. I have to talk to Sinhalese, and I come from here. I'm so happy with my children and my husband helping to my garden things. He military and also he's a university professor. And I do a lot of things. Also, my sister sometimes helping to me. My plants, she giving some seed, but very hardly I bring to United States for custom.
Wow.
And my husband take for agriculture paper. He have to paperwork because how came from Iowa for tea seed and also cinnamon. People thinking easy, not easy. Okay, nice to talking to everyone. Thank you. And this is a Murungai trees. They're making for tea for the leaf. Also, we Asian people cooking for this is a leaf with onion and things to mix with. We making also ranavara. Those leaf we making also make the tea and herbs, also make the medicine and those things. And this is a cinnamon tree. You guys know how to make that cinnamon. And see also we leaf using for leaf, and we do that's taking those cinnamon leaf and branches. Again, they cut in after grow, and I not worry about that. Again, I take for leaf, I put in for the pork, chicken, and meat, anything I do, put in for the oven, for inside for mix with, put in for oven. They also get oil and go more smell good for also healthy, good vitamins, everything have it that. That's the way I cook that.
Awesome. And then, like, if you wanted to harvest actual cinnamon, which is the Ceylon cinnamon, is that right?
Yeah, Sri Lanka Ceylon cinnamon, main world best cinnamon for Sri Lanka cinnamon.
So if you wanted to harvest the cinnamon from this,
yes,
how would you do that?
I take for more bigger carmine. Also, they show the brown color, Again, I take for knife, and I take knife up skin. Take out inside the bark. I take out. This is a way because it's small tree. Sri Lanka have a little bit bigger plants. They have website. Everything is Sri Lanka website. Easy to anybody go learning about that. That's the way easy.
Yeah.
And most people buy for me, keeping for inside for indoor plants, and they get the aroma out. And it's not easy for United States raising that. Better something have for good.
Yeah, yeah. I love my cinnamon tree.
For Spanish, and with this making with the salad, and like this. You guys know how to make. Also go to looking for recipe on the internet website. And I have those things. Also I have eggplants, the tea for cinnamon, also tea.
So that's the cinnamon plant.
Yeah, this is cinnamon plant.
And that is the tea plant.
This is a tea plant. Yes.
Look at all these wonderful plants. And this is your chili plant, right?
Yeah.
Chili pepper?
Hard pepper, hard chili. Very hard those chili.
Yeah. Hot stuff. Lots and lots of plants. Okay, what we got here?
Yeah, this is eggplants. This is a Sri Lanka eggplant. This is a 2 years. They produce 2 years. You 1 year after trim down, again count new growth. Again they get the beautiful explants, stripe have, or very red color. Was so beautiful those explants.
So these are Sri Lanka
Sri Lanka
eggplants. So they're different than the ones that we traditionally grow.
Yeah. I showed the photos also. And the eggplants, this is my explants, also 2 years produced, and very delicious. Not same Italian explants, very healthy, very good.
Here is a Tulsi holy basil here. Oh yeah.
Also another kind of moringai. This is another kind of moringai. They also we cooking and making for sambal, and also they coming for red flower and white flower. They also cooking with flower too.
Okay. So this is just a different cultivar of the moringa.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in the leaves. Neat. So many plants that she has that I am just not familiar with. I'm loving this. There's lemongrass and bay leaf.
Look, also this ashwagandha plants. This is ashwagandha.
Oh yeah. Those have a lot of medicinal properties, don't they? They're really high for medicine, right?
Yeah.
What does it help with?
Different things making for ashwagandha. Also ashwagandha arishta, Sri Lanka making, also Indians. They do the different kind of its gradient have. What kind of the body problems. They have different medication. That's
okay.
the way.
So they just make it different.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Hi, I'm Silvano Wishner, and been here in Alabama since 2004 with a hiatus of 5 years when I was at Gramstein, Germany. I'm originally from the Lake Constance area of Germany. I grew up there till I was 11 and was raised by my great-grandfather basically, who liked gardening.
Awesome.
And so I have it in my blood from the time I was a youngster. Came to the U.S. with my mother when I was 11. She dragged me to New York City, concrete canyons.
Yeah.
I spent most of my time while she was working with my aunt, who lived in Manhattan as well, and then they moved to Virginia, which I considered at that time to be God's country. So I got to spend most of my growing up time, my vacations, the summers and all that, in Virginia on an 800-acre Angus ranch.
Wow.
What else could a kid want?
Yeah.
Then I wound up going into the Marine Corps. Went to Pepperdine University while I was in the Corps. After the Marine Corps, went back for more education, master's and a PhD in history. I've written several books, but that's not why. That has nothing to do with the Coca-Cola that I'm standing in. And one of the books that I've written is my maternal uncle, my mother's brother, his experience as a prisoner of war in a Russian POW camp.
Wow.
But I didn't get that until I went back to Germany to work for the U.S. Air Force as an American. We came back here and we've been doing this since about 2005-06. It's in our blood. We import the seed from Sri Lanka, which is where I met my wife Rasika. I was teaching there in 2002. I met Rasika in Colombo. She was introduced by a mutual friend, and it turns out she's got quite the green thumb. She has studied horticulture in Sri Lanka, Her family's originally, some from Candy, but many from Barilla, a district right there by Colombo. And I brought her and our 2 children back to the States in 2003. Well, back to the States for me. First time for her and the kids.
Awesome.
And we went back to Iowa, where I had a farm, which at one time was a town called Ormanville. And so there I had grown corn and things, and soybean and things like that. So again, the horticulture part, the agriculture part's deep in my blood. From the time with my great-grandfather to the time with my Uncle Keen Brown on Buffalo River Ranch in Amherst County, Virginia, to Iowa, and now to Alabama. And I'm standing in the midst of Coca-Cola from Sri Lanka. Or we call it pennyworth. Healthy stuff. It helps with edema. My tree trunks that I call legs have been reduced quite a bit because of me taking infusions of Coca-Cola or pennyworth.
Awesome.
I also am a historian for the Air Force, Maxwell Air Force Base. I'm the director of history
Wow.
and teach part-time at Auburn University.
Awesome.
So the teaching's still in my blood, but I'm knee-deep almost still in my agriculture pursuits.
That's awesome.
But I'm glad to show you how I handle the tea. If you'd like, I'm what they call in Sri Lanka, Mama, meaning I am. Te, tea, Mahathea, tea boss. So I do most of the picking. Rasika helps clean it, make sure she's so very worried about even a speck of fly being on it. She's very clean, very meticulous.
Awesome.
But then I process it for sale.
I am so excited to be here today with Silvano and Rasika, and they are graciously taking me inside their kitchen today, and they're going to show us how to make tea from the Camellia Sinensis tea plant. I'm super excited.
Like this, you sit there like this.
Yeah. And you see these small tender ones, this is where the pico tea comes from. So you've heard of orange pico tea. Well, the reason it's called orange is because this is Camellia Assamica rudicae, and rudicae is orange, and so it's related to the orange and the camellia. And so the smallest leaf, the bud leaf, is where the orange pico tea comes from.
Okay.
Same plant.
Yeah?
It's not a special plant, but it's the leaf. And you notice how Rasika is picking the smaller leaves.
Uh-huh.
We don't want big ones. When they get that big, it's very bitter. But we want them small. Like this one right here.
Okay. So the bigger leaves are bitter.
They're done.
Okay, gotcha.
But you really, this one here is prime leaf. Notice the texture on this. It's kind of waxy looking, still soft. That still is good.
Okay. Awesome.
It's way picking.
All right, here is the tea that this would be the tea we picked after about 3 days of drying. Haven't done anything to it, just let it dry in the sun in the window. And to make the tea, I don't even want to touch it. I keep it inside and just mash it. And open it back up. A little bit more. And so basically what we've got is the foundation for green tea. hot water. And let it steep.
Okay. How long do you let it steep?
I let it steep for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Until it starts getting that golden color to it. And if you want it stronger, you add a little bit more.
Okay.
But that changes the color as well.
So what would this be considered? Would this be considered the Pico tea, or would this be
well,
green tea, or?
It's just a green tea because it's a mixture of Pico leaves and larger leaves.
Okay.
To do the Pico requires patience and a lot of new growth.
Okay.
Now, you notice we picked on the top. We didn't really go down below.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is wait after a good rainfall because that's when they really sprout new ones.
Okay.
And so your tender leaves come after a really heavy rainfall.
Okay.
Now notice this is starting to take on the green color
Uh-huh.
of the green tea.
Yeah.
Now I didn't make this too strong. And I'm just going to strain it. It's a little bit light.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put too much in it. Some people don't like the strong taste. And that's what it looks like. And that's green tea. So that's very fresh. It's a little bit hot.
That's good. I like it. Now the other cup that you gave me earlier was a little stronger.
Yes.
And I'll probably like that a little better. But this is so good. So
Well,
good. It doesn't get more fresh than this, does
right.
it?
I should have put all of this in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're just learning is you had 2 cups of tea.
I did.
One that I had prepared before you came because I used more leaves.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson in that is you have to experiment with it
Yeah.
until you get the taste you like.
Right.
And then you'll understand how much that you want to use. But this tastes, and notice the color on this is already a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you used more leaves.
I used more leaf and we're letting it steep a little longer.
Okay.
So what we're showing everybody is it's up to you what product you get.
Mm-hmm.
The leaves are the leaves, but how you prepare the tea, that's going to determine what the taste is.
Okay.
Not the leaves themselves.
Yeah, that's very good. It's a little bit stronger. Yeah, it's good.
Notice again what I told you. It's up to you. Some people like it light,
Yeah.
others like it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually made 2 different or 3
Right.
varieties out of the same leaf.
I like this one, but I still think I like the first one better. So I guess I like it a little bit stronger.
Yes.
And also we this money we selling for, and we not keeping for ourselves. Also we giving to poor. That
Yeah.
money I selling for plants. I giving to poor. I giving to Sri Lanka Catholic Church, and we not keeping for ourselves. This money so far away, different places go. I always
Okay.
giving to people.
No.
Also, this lady coming to me, I'm so happy. Thank you to her and her husband
Tracy.
and Tracy and the family came to me. Unbelievable thing happened to me. I don't know, Tracy luck or my luck.
Oh, that's sweet. I think it's my luck.
It's mutual.
my luck.
It's mutual.
I've learned so much from you guys just in my few little brief visits. Like, I've really learned
Because
a
you're
lot.
thinking you coming to me, you luck.
And by the way, you don't have to toss this out after you use it.
Yeah?
You can use it again the same day. Now,
Okay.
you don't want to keep it around forever because
Yeah. Yeah,
it just turns bitter and moldy. But
right.
within the same day, you can cover it up and use it again.
Okay.
That way you
Neat.
don't have to constantly pick tea.
And then when you are done with it, it goes
Just
to the
toss it out.
compost pile.
Put it in the compost, which is what Rasika
Goes
does.
to the compost. Everything
Yes.
goes to the compost or the chickens at my house.
Yeah, for her it's the chicken, the eggshells,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and just about anything that's organic, she,
I do too.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to the garden.
Got it.
Everything.
Yeah. I not put in so many chemical. No,
Yeah.
I don't do that chemical.
Mm-mm.
And also I put in for 3-4 days for leaf, for onion leaf and
Yeah.
garlic leaf.
Yeah.
And I put in for 3-4 days the water. After I put in for press at the bottle, taking for press on the bottle for the leaf. They
Mhm.
don't come in any box.
Yeah.
I don't using too much one chemical. I
Yeah.
don't do that. Look at that.
So you
So
use
just-
that for like an insecticide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a good garlic, onions. Those are all good
Yeah.
insecticides. For sure, for sure. Thank you so much
Wow.
for sharing with us and for this delicious tea. I love it. I'm definitely a tea drinker. I love herbal teas. This you can like mix different herbs with this.
Yes.
And my honey.
yes.
I mean, you could do all
Yeah.
kinds of different
Yeah,
things.
and
'Cause
Well, he
this
will
is
like,
just your base.
Also-
your honey will like
My
it
honey
too.
will like it.
And also ginger.
Yeah, add the
Ginger.
ginger.
Small ginger pill. Put in the ginger.
The root.
Yeah,
Just
The
put
root.
the root,
Yeah.
like a small
Yeah,
chip of the
yeah,
ginger
yeah,
root
small
in
chip.
there.
That's ginger. Small piece.
Yeah.
Just shave it. I make it, actually I also make a tea out of ginger and coriander
Okay.
and put some cinnamon in, and I drink that when I get a little bit of a twinge in my
Mhm.
lungs.
Yeah.
And so far I've been able to avoid corona, and I am really sure, so to speak,
Mhm.
that it's the ginger tea
Yeah.
that has kept me healthy.
And all the different medicinal herbs and different
Yeah.
things that you're putting in your body every day. Y'all are doing this every day as a way of life.
Yeah.
And that keeps you healthy.
You know something? John D. Rockefeller somehow had an influence on the pharmaceutical industry when they learned how to make medicines from petroleum.
Yeah.
Biggest mistake
Yeah.
that mankind has ever made
I agree.
is to get away from the herbal, from the botanical
Yes, I
remedies.
agree.
Native Americans had it.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe they had it.
Mhm.
In Switzerland people would walk the Alps for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the forests,
Yeah.
in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so this planet has been a Garden of Eden. It really
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Not just one location, but the whole
Mhm.
planet had
Yeah.
medicinal plants.
Yeah.
But then somebody decided that
Mhm.
that wasn't where the money was. And I don't
Yeah.
want people to get the wrong idea. I'm not some Looney Tunes off in
Right.
left field.
Right.
I'm not. I'm just a realist. I understand we're hurting ourselves
Mhm.
by not paying attention to the herbal stuff that God gave us.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And if we get back to more natural medicines, herbal medicines,
Yeah.
plants, seeds, herbs that God put on this earth to heal our bodies, I think we'd be healthier.
This is where I lucked out because
Yes.
when I met this Spitfire in Sri Lanka, she turned me back onto the natural stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Cheers to
Cheers.
a beautiful friendship
Yes.
and to you guys for teaching us so much about all of these wonderful herbs.
Thank you. You coming
Thank
to
you.
here.
Oh no, you're a blessing in our life. You really
Oh,
are.
thank you very much.
If you're interested in any of our products or information, you can go online at www.greenhouse.wishner.org. You can also call Rasika area code 334-587-6719, and she'll be glad to guide you here. If you go on the website, you can order from there, but it'd be better if you come here and get it in person. The good news is we're also at Farmers Market for the next 2 Saturdays in Prattville, and we go to various other events around the region on weekends.
So, like, what would your products be? What's some things that you guys sell?
We sell everything from cinnamon plants to processed cinnamon, tea plants to processed tea. Right now we still have a stock of black and green teas. We also have spinach. What do you call that spinach?
Balapari.
Mala-
Malabar?
Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach. She just calls it country spinach.
That's good.
We also have pomegranate trees, ginger, turmeric, ranavara, gotacola, marungai, horseradish.
Horseradish.
Horseradish. And lemongrass.
Yeah.
So many different plants.
Just different plants.
Yeah, you guys have
and here
come see that.
most recently we ventured into apricots. And we have peach and pomegranate.
Awesome. And Camellia Sinensis.
The Camellia Sinensis, Asamica rudicae.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time and for letting me come hang out with you and learn from you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tracy.
I got a surprise package in the mail today. I'm really excited about this. It's from a beautiful young lady named Renee. She's really good friends with my youngest son, Chance. And she has started, her and her sister has started a unique handmade jewelry company. And she is making some beautiful stuff. I mean, very unique, very different, and it's beautiful. And I love their story. They've got the sweetest story. They're two sisters who are artists and who just love to craft and make things together. And they've named their company after their grandmother, who taught them about being creative and creativity and the love of making and creating things from your home. So I think that is just beautiful on so many levels. But Renee sent me a pair of earrings that she made. She told me she was sending them to me. So I've been looking forward to this, but I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm getting spoiled, all these gifts I keep. Look at this pretty little packaging. Isn't this sweet? I love simple packaging. Simple is elegant to me. This is fun. Oh my gosh. Aren't these so cute? And they're turquoise, my favorite color. Aren't those beautiful? Different earrings, all their different jewelry that they're making. They've given them each a special name from different women that's in their family that's influenced their lives. Isn't that sweet? This one is called the Stella. She sent me another one too. I didn't know she was sending two things. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. These are the ones on her, they're on Instagram. They have a shop on Instagram. And these are the ones that I loved. Like these were I love all of them, but these were one of my favorites. This one is called the Michelle. My middle name's Michelle. And it's macrame. Aren't those gorgeous? I'm so excited about these. These are really cool because, I mean, you can't find earrings like this in the store. These are very unique, very beautiful, and just the story behind what these two sisters are doing, and it just, even in their story, you can just feel love for family, and I love that. Of course, I love that. So I'm super excited about these. Thank you, Renee. Thank you so very much. I'm gonna try these on and see what they look like. But y'all go check out their Instagram shop. It's Handmade Stellas, STELLAS. But go to the Instagram shop and just look at all the beautiful things that they're making. All these beautiful earrings. They're so, so pretty. Gene came in the door the other evening with a surprise for me. He bought me an Instant Pot, which is awesome because you can just throw everything in here, dump and go meals, throw it all in here, walk away, get in the garden, go work, which is what I'm about to go do. I'm trying to hit the garden. But go work and come inside and your meal's ready. And delicious is what I've heard. I've never used one before, so I'm really excited about this. So Rasika gave me those cinnamon leaves and told me to put them in a pan and put my roast or whatever on top of it and put it in the oven. But I'm going to alter that a little bit and try to cook a pot roast in my Instant Pot. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put my roast in here. This is about a 3-pound roast. It's still frozen. I'm going to try that. I've heard that you can just put a frozen meat in here and it'll cook. So it's still frozen. Okay, I've got my roast in here. Next, I'm going to put half a pack of my Lipton onion soup mix. Just half a pack. Sprinkle it over that. I'm going to save the rest of this and put on the top when I'm done with my layers here. Next, I've already washed and chopped up some onions and carrots. These onions are from my garden this year, and this was the last of our onions. The carrots weren't from our garden though, but. The next thing I'm gonna add is my cinnamon leaves. Now, Rasika said to take the leaves, branches, everything, put in the bottom of the pan and put your meat on top of it and put it in the oven and cook it. Now, since I'm doing this in the Instant Pot, I'm gonna do it a little different because I'm not gonna be able to just pull the branches and leaves out when it's done cooking like she recommended to do. So I'm going to just strip off the leaves from the branches and just put a few leaves in here. So I washed these cinnamon leaves when I got home from their house, and I'm just breaking them off the stems and putting them in my pot. Probably a lot like you would a bay leaf, like you would cook with a bay leaf. I've never done this before. I have never cooked with cinnamon leaves before, but I imagine it's gonna add a really great flavor. I would think so. Now I'm gonna add some little red new potatoes that we grew in the garden this year. I'm leaving the peeling, but I just cut off the bad spots. You know, we grow organically, as organic as possible, and you're not always gonna end up with a perfect fruit or vegetable when you're growing organically. So I just cut off the bad spots. Okay, isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna add some garlic cloves. This garlic was from our garden. Now that I've got everything in my pot, I'm going to add 2 cups of beef broth. Just pour it all over it. And I'm gonna put the rest of my Lipton onion soup mix all on the top of it. Don't this look good? And that's it. That's all you gotta do.